Good morning, everybody. It's Sharif, and we're doing a video today that I was asked to do by Katie regarding how to manage files. Now, this is specifically how to rename photos, but this will apply to managing files generally. So, generally speaking, we get these links from the photography department that say you have a bunch of photos. So you click on that link, and this guy opens up. So what you do is you click download and choose direct download, and in the name of saving time, I've already done this step. So you can see I've downloaded a zip file. When you click download, my browser is set to ask me where I want to save things. So see, it asks me where I want to save it. So normally I go to Dropbox and specify, the folder. I actually created a folder called it Pix Demo for this example, and I clicked on new folder. So all this is being done on a Mac. I'll do another video later for how you do this on a Windows machine, but they're very, very similar. Anyways, so now I'm going to save everything in Pix Demo. And in my case, again, to save time, I've already saved this. So I'm not going to download it again. But I do have now a bunch of pictures. They're in a zip file. You could tell the file is large because it's 203 megs. A lot of you guys sometimes have files being viewed like this or like that. These 1, 2, and that one there, number 3, these are the worst ways you can view pictures because they don't give you the time and date and anything. So I always like to remain in details view. And when you're in details view, you can right click here and choose what fields you want to show. So you right click in the top here and you want to see the date modified, the size, the name obviously. And you could widen and unwiden these. So if you have a bunch of photos or files and you want to know which one's the latest file, you can click on date modified and it'll show you. So in this case here, I'm just going to double click in the max. It expands it right here. I don't need this file anymore, so I'm going to delete it. And you could delete it in a couple of ways. You can right click and choose delete or move to trash, or you can hit command delete on the keyboard and it will delete it. So I'm going to delete it for everyone because it's in Dropbox, and as you can see, Dropbox is already syncing the files. That's that little spinner right there. So when you expand these photos, there they are. So they're all modified or taken at the same time, so to speak. And they exist in date modified fashion. So I can change them to show by name. So I'm just going to double click this folder so I don't see it. So there we are. Another thing to do with file management, if you ever wanted to know where a file is stored, you simply go to View, and unhide path and unhide status bar. If you unhide those, you see this little sucker at the bottom, and this tells you how much hard drive space you have, and then you see this one which tells you where the file's at. So I know it's in Dropbox, in 238 Southgate, in a folder called Pictures Demo, and the other folder that I expanded. Now if you want to look at the file just to get an idea of if this is the file that you want, you could hit space. So if you hit space, you could actually see these images, and if you scroll up and down, you don't have to open them. So if I click space again, it minimizes them. I can go down and I want to see what that picture is. I just hit space and keep scrolling. And that's it. To rename them in a Mac, it's very simple. You just highlight the picture you want, hit enter, or I believe you could right click on it and rename it, and you rename it to 1. Now, if you rename something to 1 and you try to rename the other one to 1, it's going to not work. So you have to make sure you're renaming things, or it will tell you. Now, after you hit enter, rename it, hit enter again, it stops. On a Windows machine, you just right click and rename it, or hit the F2 button. F2 is a top left on your keyboard. But on some laptops, that key is a different thing altogether, so don't count on it being the same. That having been said, that's a simple way of how you rename files on a Mac. You simply download the files as I showed you, and then you extract them or unzip them because they're downloaded in a zip file, and then you just click them and highlight them and do whatever you want. Another thing to know that a lot of people I find around me sometimes are a bit confused about is you can choose a lot of files at one go. So if I hold down the shift key, I can choose a bunch of files. And if I hit the command key, I can select or unselect some other files. Now, all this is easily done in another way. So let's just say I never renamed those files. I'm just going to delete them because this is all for demonstration purposes. You can easily open up another one of these windows In a Mac, you hit Command N, and it opens it for you, N for new. And you go to Dropbox, and I'm going to go to 238 Southgate. And again, we have a folder already called MLS, but I'm going to call it MLS Pics for Demo. And I'm going to expand that file. So, as I'm scrolling through here, oh, I want this picture here, so I just drag it over here. And then I want that picture there, I drag it over here. If I know there's 3 pictures in a row that I want, I just move them over. And once you have them moved over, you can click on 1, go down, click on 2, and that's it. That's how you rename files. Then after you're done with that, I would delete all these files because I don't need them. They take up space on my computer. And you're done. So that's how you rename files on a Mac. It's a very easy process. It makes life much easier for the admin people who are managing this stuff for you. And that's it. That's all you need to know about file renaming. On Windows machines, this process is extremely similar. So again, if you have any questions or you'd like to see any other videos detailing how other things are done with files, I'm more than happy to show you. You could obviously use Dropbox or Google Drive. This is just interchangeable. I prefer to use Dropbox because I've been using it since the beginning. And yeah, if you have any questions, more than happy to help. Thanks, guys. Take care.